Donald Trump is an arsonist without his own fire department. Welcome back into Occupy Democrats on a Friday. And it may not be Taco Tuesday, but in this breaking story, we're going to pretend that it is. I'm going to show that to you in a few seconds because Donald Trump has once again proven that his overt, knee-jerk, egotistical, childish, denigrating personality who tries to push and bully everyone doesn't always work out when your opponent or your opposition or your foe is actually stronger and tougher. And who's going to say chicken first? Well, guess what and guess who in this breaking story? Because here's a guy who just bailed out Argentina while U.S. farmers, America first, actually are struggling because of the tariffs that Trump has forced onto China. Josh Shapiro just said...
I haven't seen what the Trump administration is doing. I'm not sure why you'd put tariffs in place, shut down markets, drive up costs, and then say to farmers, and here's some money not to farm. I think what farmers want to do is they want to farm. I think what these tariffs have done is really inhibited our farmers and driven up costs for consumers.
When it's all said and done, oh, whoopsie poop, the truth of the matter is...
Passers-by in Washington, D.C. were greeted today by a taco truck wrapped with an image of President Trump dressed in a chicken suit. Parked the truck outside the RNC headquarters as a way to troll Trump following his angry reaction to Wall Street's new acronym, TACO, for Trump Always Chickens Out, coined by a Financial Times commentator last month to characterize Trump's frequent willingness to walk back or pause his tariffs.
Well, let's be clear. Not a long time ago, not weeks ago, not months ago, but just yesterday on Fox Business, listen to the tough game Donald Trump was trying to play with regards to tariffs and what China was doing. This.
U.S.-China trade tensions are flaring up again after China imposed even tighter export controls on rare earth minerals. The Trump administration saying it will set price floors across a range of industries to combat market manipulation by China. Last week, the president announced an additional 100% tariff on Chinese goods by November 1st, and he is threatening to block Chinese cooking oil imports after Beijing halted purchases of American soybeans. The president posted he is considering terminating business with China.
And yet in this breaking story, here is Donald being Donald in his chicken suit once again.
Don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question.
If you put that 100% tariff on top of what's in place already, you're talking about 157% tariff on China. Can that stand?
No.
What is that going to do to the economy?
It's not sustainable, but...
Because this breaking story just goes to show, when you mess around with someone who's tougher and stronger than you, all you do is cause the American people to lose. And Donald Trump has had to admit he is dead wrong, and China doesn't care. Check this story out.
They forced me to do that.
Breaking news, Taco Trump cozies up to China and admits 100% tariffs is unsustainable. President Donald Trump has admitted that his proposed 100% tariff hike on goods from China is not sustainable, merely days after he sent markets tumbling by making the threat. And despite saying last week there was no point in meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping because Beijing was, in quotes, becoming very hostile over trade, Trump now appears set to do exactly that at a gathering of Asia-Pacific leaders this month.
I think we're going to do fine with China. I get along great with him. He's a very strong leader.
The pivot comes days after Trump supercharged a trade war between the world's largest economies by announcing he would impose 100% retaliatory tariffs on China from November 1, as well as new export controls on, in quotes, critical software. However, asked on Friday whether the additional tariff on China could continue and what such a spike might do to the economy, Trump replied, in quotes, "It's not sustainable," later adding, "They forced me to do that." China has ripped us off from day one, Trump said during the interview with Fox Business's Maria Bartiromo. "We have a very strong adversary, and they only respect strength."
Amazing man. You look at, I think we're going to be fine with China, but we have to have a fair deal. It's got to be fair.
But the president then went on to say the U.S. was going to do fine with China and touted his great relationship with Xi. Both leaders are now expected to meet on the sidelines of the APEC summit in South Korea, where rare earth minerals export controls and American soybeans will be on the agenda. In quotes, he's a very strong leader, an amazing man, Trump added. His life is an amazing story. It's a story for a great movie. I think we're going to be fine with China, but we have to have a fair deal. It's going to be fair. Trump's on again, off again tariff threats have earned him the nickname Taco on Wall Street, short for Trump always chickens out. However, the tariffs have raked in billions of dollars in revenue since he took office, with the U.S. bringing in about $194 billion in tariff revenue since the start of the year, according to tracking by the Bipartisan Policy Center. Tensions with China escalated this month after the country, which dominates the global supply of rare earth elements, announced tighter export controls on these rare earth minerals. These are vital for many high-tech industries, including manufacturing for semiconductors, electric vehicles, and defense equipment. The administration viewed China's actions as an aggressive move designed to disrupt global supply chains and exert leverage in trade negotiations. In quotes, this affects all countries without exception and was obviously a plan devised by them years ago, Trump wrote of China's actions last week. It is absolutely unheard of in international trade and a moral disgrace in dealing with other nations. The upcoming APEC meeting was particularly important because Trump had vowed to use it to confront Xi over Beijing's refusal to buy American soybeans, which has put the squeeze on farmers in the MAGA heartland. While China has historically been a top buyer of U.S. soybeans, American tariffs have led the country to place a retaliatory tariff on U.S., with Beijing now increasingly turning to South America for its produce. But American farmers have warned that the lack of purchases could be devastating for them, particularly at a time when fertilizer and other goods have become more expensive, potentially even leading to bankruptcies and foreclosures. Wait, let me get this right, Mr. President. Did you just say that China and morality? I think you're probably not the person to be pushing around the moral word on anyone. And yeah, China probably has been planning it for years because they are light years ahead of us in planning and smarts. And you, sir, have chickened out once again. Congratulations, Donnie Dipstick. You guys like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and have a great weekend. But stay frosty. No kings tomorrow. Cheers.